seeing this on TV. It's bound to burst out because it's really known in the archaeological community. You've had 4 of these major impacts that the black people have made to the Americas, not only before Columbus was born, but before even Spain or Italy existed. That's the kind of roots that are in this country. And by knowing that, and the more you know about it, it's an empowerment. You're really rude. You have got a heritage which is more than slavery. Sure, there was slavery, but that's not all. That's a small part of it. Long before that, there's a heritage of kings, seafarers, religious missionaries, and they were all here. But it happened so long ago, there's just so little of it left. And that's basically my story. What connects it up is even the word Moor, because it's pronounced differently in different parts of Africa. And they call themselves Moor, Mu, Muir. There's all variations of that, so that even the name Muir.
Alright, peace. Ancient and modern Britons. I'm going to go in real quick. Try to read this as fast as I can. We on page 47. Alright, let's start here. Moorish is a word which suggests a great deal. It has this in common with the Ugarian word kara or sayar. Previously glanced at that not only signifies swarthiness of skin, but it is radically connected with marsh or morris, or Carse, as it is called in Scotland. Scotland.
You mean Muir Island.
One meaning of marsh in Latin is palace, and the words marsh, morris, murish, or marish, merse in Saxon, and moor or muir.
You mean Muir Island.
Are all different forms, clearly of one original root, whatever that may be. Now, so when I say in other videos how they say more this or more that in certain spots in movies, you see how it's all connected. All of these are the same word, or, you know what I'm saying, different offshoots of the same root word. As they say, whatever that may be, but we know what it is if you watch my videos anyway. The Alpine land certainly meant the watery land, Mir Unshagalawa, whatever the hell that says, among the pre-Hellenic Greeks, just as the same land is called Mori by the modern post-Hellenistic or Roman Greek. From Moor, the name of the sea in Slavic vernacular of its inhabitants during the heart of the Middle Ages. So says Lord Strangford, speaking authoritatively. In Gaelic, the sea is Mara or Muir.
You mean Muir Island.
Which suggests the Latin Mer. Armstrong, who certainly exceeds in fretting out an enormous number of kindred words, in this, as in other cases, though sometimes with questionable success, gives a list of other forms selected from nearly every European and 1 or 2 African Asiatic tongues. All right, see the asterisks. Let's go down. Okay, look at this. Latin Mir, German Mir, Slavic Mori, Dow, which I don't know what that is, Moor Island, Mar, Tu, Mar, Mare, Corn, there's a Cornish Mare, Irish Mir, Arm, Mar, More, Invariants, Sax Mir, French Mir, South of France, Mar, Dutch Mir, Dow, More, so I spell M-O-R-E. Slavic, well, no, that's not Slavic. Something I don't know what that is. Goth, Marvizi, a pool, Mars, French. Mar, I want you to see this one specifically. English, Morris. When we go to the other book in a second. Arab, Mar, spring or water or sprout. Arab, Maravic. Some parts of Africa, Marga to marsh. Old Sax, Mars, Marsh Lake. Okay. See, all of those all those different languages all have the word more in it in some shape, form, or fashion, denoting a lake or some kind. Now, just look in here. I'm gonna show you how they separate it in this day and age in these books, and I'm gonna show you when we go back in here how it's all connected.
What connects it up is even the word Moor, because it's pronounced differently in different parts of even of Africa, and they call themselves Moor, Mu, Muir. There's all variations of that. So even the name Muir.
Well, he's gonna show you, not me. All right, so you see Morris up in here. As you can see, Morris is right here. You've seen that in the other book. Just want to show you this, native of North Africa and more, right? You see it's in Greek, right? You know, if they only been Moors since 7th century or 8th century or whatever, then why is it in Greek, right? All right, so you understand that? I want you to see Morse. And then we're going to go to this book here, right? We'll come to the back, you see Moor, right? M-E-R and M-A, M-E-R-3 and M-A-3, right? But then look at Morris. They got that with a separate root. But I just showed you in the other books how those are the same words. But we got Moor. One, we got it as a boat, wasteland, right? And then Morris, they got that completely separate, right? And a totally different root. So let's look at these three roots. I'm going to show you the difference. All right, so it's ME3, right, which was here. To tie a boat, to moor a boat, right? But if you go to the original ME, that's ME3. If you go to MER1, right, you see flicker, which means light. Okay, light. More is light beings. Okay, real quick, Strong's Concordance. You're seeing to flicker, more, right? To flicker, M-E-R-1, to flicker, right? It said a light of some kind, right? More, see it? More, more, mora, mora. This is Hebrew, okay? A luminous body, light. So you see how it still goes back to the truth. You just got to know the etymologies. You try to hide it. See? And watch, you'll see. Get it? Okay, let's go back here to MA3. You see him more. There's a near wasteland, blah, blah, blah. But look what's in MA1. Mortus. Seasoned, ripe, mature. Right? Morning, blah, blah, blah. It's mama, because the M is always representative of the mother, i.e. a matriarchal, which is why we are Moors. All right, so the last one was M-O-R-I. This is where it gets interesting, okay? A body of water with a question mark, right? Mere, lake or pond. See how it all going back to water, right? This root could only have meant sea if the IEs were a maritime people. When they say IEs, originally when I read that, I thought it meant Maurians. It's in like the Mauryan people. But when they say IEs, it's talking about Indo-Europeans. So it's saying this word could only have meant sea, right? They're saying it meant lake, but it can only have meant sea if they were a maritime people, right? So let's read further in here and you'll see how they are a maritime people. But one cannot fail to see that as the terra firma of the modern Moor or Kars has succeeded the watery Morris and Kors, so also Morris, which as Patheris said was neither land nor sea, has succeeded Mer, Moor, or Muir.
You mean Muir Island.
The ocean itself, my bad. Therefore, if the word Moor and its variation was primarily the sea and gave its name to a nation of sea rovers. Or if the case were reversed and the sea became associated with the name of a great seafaring race, then a wider vista opens out before us. There has been much written about mermina, okay, and other, merman, like a mermanin, and other watery people. And the subject is usually treated mythologically, although capable, I venture to think, of being interpreted realistically. The view of the origin of Moorish must, however, be discarded here, and our attention turned more directly to the dwellers among the moors and marshes. Whether they gave their name to these places or were so styled because they inhabited them, they were at any rate known as Moors. That is to say, this became a general pronunciation given to the word. The original root seems likelier to have been Moor, M-O-R, as seen in Cornish, Armorican, and other languages. Jamieson, in his Scottish dictionary, says of Moreva, defined by him as black, swarthy, resembling a Moor. This word has certainly been used in Old English, as Cotgrave gives it as the sense of the French Moor, ID, whatever. It is possibly a contraction of Latin Mauritanis, a Moor. It would perhaps be more correct to say that the Latin Mauritanis and Moris are extensions of Moor. So as you see, Moor came before even the Latin, okay? He also connects this word to the morion that formed the headpiece of the medieval man at arms. Another English word for this root is murrey, meaning dark red or copper colored. You understand, copper colored, where we heard that before. We're going to look this word up in a second. But let's go here. We're going to look up what we know copper colored from. Then we're going to look up Murray, because that's the key right there. Check it out. First off, understand we know American. Now this is 1828. Noah Webster's, before they start changing definitions, okay? So American is a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America, okay? So the Aboriginal people were the copper-colored races. Hence, Murray means dark red or copper-colored, right? So when they talk about the Indian is the red man, okay, did we catch that? Understand they're talking about Murray, because Murray means dark red. Now let's go to what Murray is. Murray, from the root of Moor, an African. What are we supposed to be? African Americans, right? Get it? So I'm just going to start right here. The rest of this, he kind of setting this up. Like I said, you can get the book if you want to read it. In reciting the victories of the Roman general Thaddeus, Claudian says that in Latin, whatever that says, nefasata nama pictos idemit. I have no idea. Now, when Claudian wrote, and for a long time after, Moris signified a great deal more than the native of Mauritania. Or it may be correct to say that Mauritania implied as much, though in a different quarter, as Scythia did. And any Latin dictionary, any old one at least, will tell you that Moorish is a Moor, a blackamoor, or a tawny Moor. And Shakespeare used the word Moor as a synonym for Negro, as that last word bears nowadays a somewhat restricted meaning. Loki telling you something. It may be better to take the old-fashioned blackamoor as the nearest English rendering of Moorish, signifying thereby any black or brown-skinned man. Consequently, the translation of Claudian's line is this: he subdued the nimble blackamoors, not wrongly named the painted people. And the British Picts, like those of other lands, stand out again as dark-skinned men. Okay, now you see this little plus, little cross-looking thing right there. Let's come down here. I want you to read this. The usage. Okay, baby. The usage outlasted Shakespeare by at least 2 generations. In a brief narrative on the encounters between the early colonists of New England and the native Indians, listen, I found it stated that these unfortunate gentlemen who were intercepted by 700 Moors, with whom they fought for peace of 4 hours, till not only they too, but Captain Sharp and 51 Christians more lay dead upon the place. And again, that at Woodcock, 10 miles from Secanash, whatever this is, on the 16th of May was a little skirmish between the Moors and Christians, wherein there was of the later 3 slain and 2 wounded, and only 2 Indians killed. So you see, between Moors and Christians, and then they call the Moors what? Indians. Oh man, does that not kill it for y'all? What is these Aboriginal cats talking about? Man.